Good morning, Vintage Beauties. So God laid this on my heart this morning. Let's just call this car talk because I'm literally in the car. But God laid this on my heart early this morning, just to encourage someone out there who may be feeling like they're less than, like they're not worthy, like they're not beautiful. He said, be transparent, Shonda. I want you to go on there and be transparent. Share what you went through, your insecurities. Share it with somebody, because there's someone today who needs to hear it. There's someone today who is struggling with their self-esteem and their self-worth. And I'm tired of my children feeling like the world is better off without them. The world will do better if they weren't in it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to share this part of my life. My insecurity growing up was my complexion. Something that I embrace and I absolutely love now, because when I'm 76, Lord willing, I want to look just like this beautiful lady right here. This is my granny. Like, y'all can't tell me nothing. My granny is beautiful, okay? Anyway, but growing up, I was insecure about my complexion. I wasn't born insecure. I didn't become 2 years old and say, oh my, oh. There's a reason that car talk doesn't work. I should be focused on driving. So let's have some tea and discuss my insecurities. Wordplay. So growing up, I was insecure. Like, I remember one time when I was younger, this boy was like, she's ugly. And I started thinking, like, wow, why would he say that? Like, what would make him say that? And then the boy he was talking to kind of referenced, like, she's not ugly, she's just dark skinned. And it was like, whoa, so I'm not ugly, I'm just dark skinned. And then I remember another time, and you know, I don't have to be cute to everybody. I'm beautiful to my husband at this point in life. That's all that matters. But I also should know that I'm beautiful to myself. And a lot of times we enter into situations broken behind words. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. The tongue has the power to destroy somebody from the inside out, and then they grow up feeling like they're not even worth it. And we see so many people committing suicide behind bullying. So that was one instance. And then I remember another instance where I was in high school, and I was really popular. I was really real, transparent. I was caring. I was no punk. So I spoke my mind. If I didn't like something, I said what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? And I remember in high school, this one y'all, this is just going all which kind of way. I'm sorry. But I remember in high school, this one guy, he didn't even go to my school. He was older. I was walking down the street with my friend, and we were going to our other friend's house. And so we knew this guy from the neighborhood, and it was another guy. And it was two guys standing in the yard. I didn't know them like personally, but we just knew them from the neighborhood. And one guy was like, my friend was Spanish, and he was like, Spanish and dark and lovely. And the other guy was like, dark and ugly. Or no, he said black and ugly. And I'm like, what? Like, that starts chipping away at your self-esteem. And I can share that now because I'm in a place where, bro, I'm beautiful. Like, I love my features. I love my nose. I love my eyes. I love my lips. People pay for this. I love the natural line I have around my lips. I get that from my granny. I love me, and it started when I started to realize who God had called me to be, and the worth and the value that God placed on me. And it's like, wait a minute, people's opinion cannot matter that much. Like, they didn't die for me. And it's hard because when you watch the TV shows growing up, the dark-skinned girl was always the plus one, the friend of the pretty mixed girl. Like, not even just a light-skinned girl. They always had to be mixed. Like, being straight black was not good enough. And if we did throw a straight black girl in there, she couldn't be too dark, because then she represented the African culture too much. And they feared us. Our strength, like our features, our beauty, this natural essence that we provide. The fact that when we're 50, we start to, like, time just stops for us, and we stay looking young for a long time. Like, they fear that, you know. And that's just my opinion, but it created this insecurity in me growing up. And so then I felt like I had to assert myself in every situation. And it was like, you're gonna notice me, you're gonna see how great I am and how beautiful I am. I felt the need to do that because I didn't believe it. And so I felt I had to scream it to the rooftops, and everybody better acknowledge it. And that's hard when you're waiting on people to acknowledge something that you don't believe yourself. And even my husband, he would say little things like, oh yeah, she was the light skin. And I'm like, what the heck does that matter? She had like on a green ugly outfit. You could have described her that way. Like, you could have just said the girl with the green ugly outfit that looked like it came from the swap meet. Like, it'd be like, that's the only description. Like, that's what people gravitate to. So you start to notice, like, whoa, like, she busted, like, not trying to talk about nobody, but it's like, whoa, and they just walk straight to her. I remember when I was in high school, I was in class and I had my hair in a bun, slick, like my hair was wavy. And so this one guy was staring at me, and I knew him, like, we were just cool, we had classes together. I'm like, what the heck you staring at, bro? He was like, whoa, you are pretty. And I'm like, thank you. And he was like, no, like, I was really looking at you, and I like your features. Like, you have high cheek. Like, he started breaking it down. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what is it? So I'm like, why did you have to stare at me to realize that? He was like, well, you know, like, it's just like, sometimes we just don't realize it. And I'm thinking, like, no, because I'm dark skinned, you disqualified me from the category of beautiful. And so when you were staring at me, you like, dang, she ain't got no pimples. Her skin is smooth, it's even, like, her lips are full, even though that wasn't like in back then. And then her cheekbones are really pronounced, and that was before I had all this weight on them, y'all. But it's like, so y'all, like, we're disqualified from jump. And it's only until somebody is intensely staring, like, whoa, you are pretty, or you are beautiful. And it's like, come on now. Just imagine all the little girls out there who are just hanging and waiting on the word of somebody to validate them. And then all they see are their white friends, or their Spanish friends, or their mixed friends, or even their light-skinned friends getting the compliments, and they're left with nothing but, oh, I like your shoes. Your outfit looks nice. And it's like, well, what about my face? And a lot of times the girls who are the most broken, who have the lowest self-esteem, are the ones with no father. I didn't have my father in my life like that. He was in and out of jail. He was not a provider, a protector. He was not who God had called him to be, and he still has not learned his role in this world, and I don't think he ever will. All I can do is pray for his soul. But it impacted me and all of my sisters, the ones who won't admit it. It impacted us because we needed that. God intended for girls and women to get this validation at a young age, you know. Y'all, my bad, I'm trying. You know, the devil, oops, there we go. You know, the devil will come in and make you feel like you're not good enough, and he'll twist and take something and just, like, I don't know. So my insecurities stem from childhood, and I took that into my marriage. It was like, oh, who you looking at? Oh, what you like? What you this? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I really started getting into my word that I realized that I was fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, God called me. God chose me. He died for me. He loved me. And my complexion had nothing to do with it. Like, he knew me. He knew I was going to go through that. He knew I was going to hurt. He knew I was going to have low self-esteem and feel like I wasn't good enough. He knew all those things, and he still called me. And he called me for a moment like this, to talk to somebody, to reach somebody, to help somebody, to let somebody know you can, you will, you shall. Like, you are it. You are queen. You are a vintage beauty. Like, don't count yourself out. Don't feel like you're not worthy. If you feel like you can't press on and you don't want to live anymore, like, get help for one. Reach out to somebody, because I've been there. I've been there as an adult. I've been there as a marriage and family therapist. But God is so good. He's so great. He's so amazing. And I'm encouraging you to just look in the mirror and say, you are beautiful. You are wonderful. You are fearfully made. God made us in his image. He designed us. There's purpose and destiny in us, and our skin doesn't disqualify us. What society think is beautiful doesn't disqualify us. You are it. You are the one. Yeah, so that's me being raw, open, and transparent. Just sharing a piece of me with you, because it was hard. And I know it's still hard. And I know we struggle. Black men see beauty in everyone. Not just black women, white women. Just see beauty. You have this power. Your words are so powerful, black men, black little boys. Your words are powerful. They are so powerful. My husband, I can tell my daughter, oh, Jay, you look so pretty. And she like, thank you. And she look at my husband like, And it's like, oh, Jay, you look so pretty. And it's just like, what he said sealed the deal. What I said was cool, but what he said mattered. Men, your words matter. So before you tear someone down, you can have your preference. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, okay. It's nothing wrong with that. Like, everyone has a preference. Like, I prefer my husband. Like, that's who I want. That's who I love. Everyone has a preference, but don't let that preference turn into you knocking another person because they don't look like what your preference is. You can prefer light-skinned girls or mixed girls. That's all fine and dandy, bro. But know that these chocolate beauties are here to slay and stay. And when we 60 and your girl looking like she 80 and she only 60, don't come running like, oh, I should have listened. I'm joking. Anyway, I hope this encourages someone at the end of the day. I hope that a little girl watches this whose skin is like mine, even if it has scars and blemishes, that you embrace every scar and blemish, because it comes from a story, it comes from a place, it comes from somewhere, and you're worthy. You're worth it. Little girl, I just thought that you should know. Little girl, God made you so beautiful.